Hello, I'm Peter Orker from Peter Orker Piano Tuition, and it's time for another A to Z of piano composers and pianists. Well, we've reached letter T in our A to Z tour, and believe it or not, this load of screws and ironmongery is a clue to his identity. No, it's not Frankenstein's monster. Our letter T musician was a pianist who specialised in the field of avant-garde music, performing and recording works by composers such as Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, Pierre Boulez and Morton Feldman. But his close association with the composer John Cage is what he's most famous for. Our letter T pianist is, of course, David Tudor. David Tudor was born in 1926 in Pennsylvania and initially studied both composition and piano before deciding to become a pianist, although he did return to composing in the 1960s, having discovered electronic music. Rejecting the classical repertoire in favour of music at the cutting edge of 20th century avant-garde music, he quite quickly became the preferred interpreter of John Cage's music. He played the premiere performances of many Cage works, including the rather notorious work called 4 minutes 33 seconds, which I'm going to just play you an extract of now. I'm just going to play the first few seconds of this work. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Of course, 4 minutes 33 seconds is the piece that consists of 4 minutes 33 seconds of silence. It's a very easy piece to play, I have to say. Unlike most of Cage's music, which are notated sometimes in a traditional notation, like this one, and sometimes notated in graphic score version, which is sort of based on traditional notation, but as you'll see, this is quite distorted version of traditional notation, and some of which doesn't even resemble normal notation at all. And there's a big element of improvisation in the performances of these works. Tudor also gave performances of Cage's music for prepared piano, which is where the screws and nails and things like that come in. In this little clip, Professor Stephen Drury of New England Conservatory demonstrates how the screws and other bits and pieces are attached to the strings of the piano to create the unique prepared piano sound.
The preparation for the piano is very extensive. About half of the notes on the piano are prepared. It takes 3 hours at least to fully prepare everything. I am preparing the piano according to Mr. Cage's instructions with objects such as screws, bolts, little strips of rubber inserted between the strings in order to change the sound of the strings.
Well, the result is something quite extraordinary. The piano is transformed into an instrument which sounds percussive and melodic at the same time. It almost resembles a Javanese gamelan orchestra. And all of this was David Tudor's bread and butter as a pianist. So let's have a listen to part of Cage's Sonata No. 5 for prepared piano. Unfortunately, this isn't Tudor playing in this clip. It's Inara Ferrara, but any pianist who ventures into the rather arcane world of John Cage piano music, or prepared piano music especially, follows in the pioneering footsteps of David Tudor. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's certainly very challenging and thought-provoking music, isn't it? So that brings us to the end of A to Z letter T, David Tudor. So I hope you'll join me for the next one when we reach letter U.